Here, there, everywhere. That's where you'll find TKO8 Television's Jim Buchanan. Interesting, informative, entertaining, strange, unusual, uplifting, inspirational. All these things and more await you on this 30-minute television journey that'll take you here, there, and everywhere. Broadcasting from TKO8 Studio C, here's Jim Buchanan.
And welcome to Jim Buchanan's Here, There, and Everywhere. I'm Jim, and tonight I've got an extra special edition of the program for you. In my quests here, there, and everywhere, I occasionally stumble across something that makes me stop and say, man, that's really cool. And this week, I had to say that about the creations of J. Piscopo. Not only has this talented artist created a comic book that's fun for kids of all ages, he's also created an entire world for kids to enjoy that seems to be missing in these high-tech days. Stand by for adventure, kids, as I get ready to take you on a special trip everywhere.
Jim Buchanan's Here, There, and Everywhere will return in a moment to take you everywhere.
Viewers of the program and my friends on Facebook have heard me praising the unique work that Dawn O'Connell is offering the world by way of her Little Buddies action figures. And with my own little buddy hanging around the office, I can't help but continue recommending this one-of-a-kind gift to all of my friends. Not only has my little buddy become a fun centerpiece of my own personal collection, Little Jim has also become a great spokesmodel for my site and wherever else I want my imagination to take him, such as making him do this commercial. Little Buddies action figures are truly the perfect gift for any occasion. Birthdays, anniversaries, special appreciation, graduation, or even better, just for the fun of it. So what are you waiting for? Learn more about getting your own Little Buddy today at www.littlebuddiesactionfigures.com. Help your imagination come to life.
Welcome back, and hold on tight, as Jim now takes you everywhere.
For this special edition of the program, I'm dedicating the total broadcast to an everywhere guest that I am super excited to introduce to you. And once you meet him and all that he's created, you'll see why I felt that so much time was warranted to share this wonderful creation that also makes for a great gift pack for any time of the year. Now, before I introduce you to this creative mind who is tucked away in the great state of Maine, let me elaborate on why I think these creations are so worthy of your time and attention. J. Piscopo is the creative mind behind the Undersea adventures of Capt'n Eli and all the other characters that inhabit this fantastic world of adventure and mystery under the sea. Contained inside the pages of these two graphic novels is an action-packed journey that recaptures the spirit of what comic books are all about. Fun reading that takes the reader to places seen only in the realm of imagination. Sure, with modern special effects, whole worlds can be created and thrown onto a movie screen in brilliant 16:9 high-definition quality video, but those images pale in comparison to the canvas that's painted by the imagination of a child when allowed to add its own details. And through interesting characters, colorful, eye-catching 2D and 3D artwork, plus a story that takes the reader on numerous twists and turns, Jay has created in these Undersea adventures of Capt'n Eli a playground that I truly believe can take the modern video game-obsessed child into the realm of imagination that we as children enjoyed every day. And with all of that said, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming to the show J. Piscopo. Jay, thank you for taking the time to come on the show, and I'd like to begin with you sharing with the audience how Capt'n Eli came to be.
Well, it's kind of interesting. About, I'd say 5 or 6 years ago, Fred Forsley, who is the president of the Shipyard Brewing Company here in Maine, wanted to branch out into soda, and he named the root beer, which was an old family recipe, which was his father had come up with. His father's name was Eli, and he also had a son named Eli, and he wanted to dedicate the soda to his father and his son. So all along, Fred had thought about using the character on the label as a character in an animated television show or something of that kind, some form of entertainment or some sort of entertainment or educational kind of material. And I had some experience working in television before doing some stuff for a company called Tom Snyder Productions, and we had worked on some things for ABC, about 9 years ago now. And I was basically asked to try to develop how could we develop this into a piece of entertainment. And I kind of started very, very slowly. I said, let's try to, maximize the web. Started getting involved with web comics, and also initially we had made the first comic I think we ever did was a placemat for restaurants that would advertise the root beer and showed Capt'n Eli. And then we expanded to the web and also changed the story around a bit. We started getting a little bit more into science fiction, and also I started putting in a lot of the influences I grew up with Space Ghost and Herculoids and all that great Hanna-Barbera superhero stuff. And I grew up reading a lot of Silver Age comics.
And it's those influences that lead me to believe that what you've created is really something that a modern-day kid can get into.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff now, we're finding more and more comics, and now because I think of the film orientation of comics, that comics are now kind of skewed upwards in age towards adults. And it's kind of a shame because I think a lot of the stuff, I grew up with was people who created the comics knew that adults were reading it, but it was still kind of thought of as a children's medium. And I love, we call it all ages comics. That's the kind of comic I'm most attracted to. I'm really not into a lot of what people call adult-oriented stuff. It ends up being just kind of gory to me, or just kind of prurient kind of stuff. And for me, comic books are supposed to be fun and full of wonder and adventure and discovery. And that's something we really, from day one, wanted to create. And we're finding that our audience is turning out to be, not only kids, but also adults that are looking for that same kind of entertainment as well.
And you've really nailed it. Even though I'm a big kid at heart, I did go into adult mode when it came to preparing for this interview, really studying what all you've created, and I gotta admit, I was totally sucked in. Another aspect of Capt'n Eli that I find fascinating, even though I don't necessarily understand it, is the trading card game that all you guys have created.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. We have a card game which we started as a form of promotion, just to get the word out. And I had when it was first suggested to us for a friend, I think Kristen Cappy, who has a company called Curious City, and she helps promote writers and authors, especially with children's oriented stuff. She suggested, have you ever guys thought about doing a card game? And I was kind of oblivious to all that stuff. But it's actually kind of fun when you start getting into it. And another part of it too is, like, from the very beginning, Fred Forsley, who I mentioned before, really wanted to try to do something educational. And I had also worked at Tom Snyder creating educational software, which was basically using a lot of cartoon characters and cartoon stories to teach math and teach language and geography and things like that. And so once we had Eli sort of established in the graphic novels, we could kind of branch out from there to do that. And Tammy Kennedy, my publicist, who I'm sure you talked to when we first got together with this, she hooked us up with Laura Richter, who is an incredible teacher and author, and basically created learning or lesson plans to go along with the graphic novels. So yeah, it's fun to have that kind of expanse, to be able to have that kind of stuff. And also, part of what I do is to promote the book. I go into schools and teach a quick, about an hour-long cartooning workshop. And that's very, very interactive, and the kids draw along with me creating cartoon characters. So outreach to schools and outreach to kids has been a really important part of this. We of course, because of the substance and we care about it, but also to get to the audience, because a lot of those kids, I think, want to read comic books, but have been, over the past, I would say, 10 years or so, comic shops are kind of getting more and more oriented to adults. So you're seeing less kids go to comic shops. And but what I'm finding is that a lot of kids and their families, they love superheroes and cartoons, and if they just know that there's a way of getting it, they'll come to it.
Well, and I do hope this interview helps in that, because you have so many really cool things that are a part of this line that is also very affordable.
Oh yeah, we've got plenty. Yeah, we've got lots of interesting stuff, and there's a whole range of things too. So it's not. I don't think it'll really hurt anybody's wallet too much. We have a coloring book, for instance, for a few bucks, and also we just started it's coming out in about a month, and then it'll be fully distributed in January. It's a comic book called The Sea Ghost, and before I get any any real popularity with something, I still like to do spin-off characters. And Sea Ghost actually was a very popular character that people started writing about and saying, "Gee, you should do something with this character." And so we have a one-shot comic book, which is available for pre-sale at the website too. And that's just a regular standard color comic book. So not as large as the graphic novels, but it's a fun character too.
Now, we've got to take a quick time out, but when we come back, I'd like to talk more about the look and style that Jay has created in this fantastic realm under the sea. We'll be right back as Jim Buchanan's Here, There, and Everywhere continues.